Hello folks, you are watching another casted game of Age of Empires 4. I'm Paragon RG. The players here are Hera versus Zalami. Now Hera, if you don't know him, is a top Age of Empires 2 player, one of the very, very best. He's here on the east side of the map in the blue, playing as the French. Zalami is a player I've seen before. He's ranked 52nd, I think, right now. He's on the west side of the map in the red, playing as the Delhi, and I always keep a very close eye on Delhi builds. In this case, we see going right for the berries. We see the mosque coming down quite early and researching efficient production, which is generally just the thing to do. But we'll see how he follows up, going for the mining camp, which makes sense. Delhi definitely needs that food and gold. They can't get around it in any cheeky way, unlike, say, the Rus or the Chinese. Hera on the other side of the map, I think playing this pretty standardly, going for the sheep, going for the mining camp. I don't expect too much shenanigans out of him. If I had to guess, we'll see that School of Cavalry, and he'll play pretty standard until the Second Age, and we'll see where he goes from there. Hera has a very mean French play. I've seen him crush the Rus with the French with just really tight gameplay. Start with knights, you figure out when they're going to go for spears. You be ready with archers in advance. You know, by the time that barracks comes down from your opponent, if you can already have the archers there to start sniping spearmen, you really force a hard position. Now, in that case, the archers scale really nicely against the horse archers, which are pretty much guaranteed to come out in Castle Age as the Rus. But here we have the Delhi. So will that play work for Hera in this game? We're going to find out if he even goes with it. This map is Dry Arabia. We see 3 sacred sites down the middle, nothing really toward the bottom, so definitely closer. These two are quite close to both players. We see big chunks of stone in the corners of the map, and then a large gold patch right here by the sacred site, as well as another one toward the top, much closer to blue. In terms of each player's spawn, this is not the best gold spawn for Hera. This is far enough away that really anyone getting in with Dark Age Spearmen can cause a lot of problems here. Like, imagine pushing your opponent off of gold before they're able to go up to the next age. That being said, I think what players do is, especially as the French, is you know you need the School of Cavalry. You know you want to click up at a really good time to tier 2, so you get 4 villagers on gold, you make it happen. And I've seen cases as well against, let's say, the Mongols, who are probably the best at putting on Dark Age pressure. By the time they get here, sure, they drive the workers off, but the French already have the gold they need, and they're able to still go up to the Feudal Age without any problems. On the other side of the map, we see the Dome of the Faith, which is expected. So we'll see quite a few scholars, most likely built out of here, going for half price. Half price education. Don't miss this deal. Nothing too crazy coming out here. See if all the upgrades are coming in. So wheelbarrow coming in. We'll probably see survival techniques following it unless he's waiting for horticulture in the Second Age. And no lumber camp out yet, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, there it comes now. Just this build is obviously tight enough that he can't afford the lumber camp until a little later. So that wood is going toward the mosque, the mill, that's 150, house is 200, and mining camp is 250. So you have to sacrifice something. You can't really sacrifice the house. You can maybe sacrifice the mill if you go on sheep. But in this case, deciding to sacrifice the lumber camp, maybe just because it's a nice close wood line here. Zalami reaching the Feudal Age, and Hera should reach it any second as well. Yeah, actually pretty good from Zalami. He reaches it nice and early. We see the Scholar being produced, and Sanctity being researched as quickly as possible. So there are already 2 Scholars in here, which is actually interesting. So he must have made a... Did he get extra gold? Must have got 150 gold to make that second scholar out of the mosque then, which is I think a neat little way to just to get your research kicked up a little faster. A little higher earlier expenditure of gold, but he probably clicked up to the Second Age first and then any extra gold went to making that second scholar. After that, holds off until the Dome of the Faith, where you really don't want to be making scholars anymore. These things will be strictly for research. So yeah, actually that's pretty nice. Goes for the, I guess, efficient production, and then as soon as that finishes, probably tries to produce that second scholar. So very cool. We'll see if a second mosque comes out, because this one is now already full, and that's about as quickly as you can get it full, or at least as quickly as you can do it reasonably. Zalami coming out with wall toward the top of his base, and I like this a lot. I mean, you know French is going to come out with aggression. Nowadays, the French players are usually producing scouts before the knights. Hera's School of Cavalry is actually a little bit idle right now. I don't know if that's a mistake from him or what. He has the food and the gold. Unless he's kind of faking this out and is going for a castle age. We'll have to see what he's up to. I think he made at least one scout. He has 4 military, so I'm guessing he has four scouts in total, including the one he started with. Zalami's scout going down here, presumably shot down by the town center of his opponent. Taking a quick stock take of the villager counts, Hera ahead by 2 villagers at this stage, and that is presumably just because of the faster villager production time for the French. So Delhi have to catch up to that right off the top. And I love this. See the spearmen building these walls. It's a great play. Just making it a little more difficult to be raided. I'd like to see this wall completed. Looks like maybe he's headed over now to do that, and then he can wall here to close this whole thing off and really just restrict where the raiding can come from. You don't necessarily need to completely eliminate the possibility of it. That's a much bigger investment to, like, realistically, how is he going to wall on this side? Like, you know, through the stealth forest here, maybe. Here. This is a huge wall, though, so I like it. I think we'll see more of this kind of thing, just making it a little more difficult to get to the villagers, and then he can, you know, drop some spearmen or archers around here or what have you, and go from there. We see a stable producing scouts now from the Delhi player. Lots of scouts. So is this a professional scouts build? It is. Oh, no. Survival. Yeah, he already has professional scouts. So that's perhaps part of why he was trying to rush out the 3 scholars. They all pop out now, all going to be running for these sacred sites as Sanctity finishes up in the next 15 seconds. So very, very cool. I like this Delhi play a lot so far from Zalami. We'll see if Hera has enough to push Zalami off of the sacred sites. Look at these things fanning out on the minimap. Super, super cool. This is the first time I've seen professional scouts from Delhi. So I'm really excited to see that here. We see Hera able to click up to the Castle Age, and there he goes with the Guildhall. I'm trying to remember, what is the other option for French? Actually, we should be able to check here. No? Can't check? Guess not? I think I used to be able to click this. But going up with the Guildhall, so this will produce resources over time, and will produce more and more depending on how many resources are already in there. So perhaps just going to grab... I guess he can't grab the relic until tier 3. Keep an eye on Zalami maybe, but he does drive... Hera does drive the scholar off the sacred site. Some spearmen coming forward now, removed temporarily from their wall duties to drive away the scouts. And even 2 spearmen here would totally prevent this. This sacred site already captured. And this one finishing up. This one's done now. Is it done? Yeah, it is done. Okay, it's just selected, so it appears white, which is a little bit awkward on the minimap there. The sacred site finishing up now as well. This is fantastic play from Zalami here. Is he clicked up yet? He hasn't. I think the investment to do all of this means that he can't have clicked up. But that being said, let's take a look at his gold income. 0 villagers on gold, and he has 500 sitting there, 400 gold per minute. That will jump up to 600 gold per minute. You see it's going up now. So I like this a lot. Starting to put on some aggression. Moving forward with the scouts. I wonder if this is a Grand Theft Venison to just grab what he can by his opponent's town center, or if just a combination of scouts and spearmen will be enough to irritate the knights and force Hera to sit back in his own base. check back here, but it's just wolves picking away at this scholar. Definitely needs to be careful and to save that if you can. But it looks like it'll go down. Heading back to the front, though. This is quite a bit of aggression. That being said, men-at-arms coming out from Hera, and I don't think any of what Zalami has here can really deal with men-at-arms. But he will try to torch down some buildings, at least cause some problems, make Hera stress out a little bit, which, let's be honest, he is known to do. This house, pretty sure this is going down. Men-at-arms coming forward, but house goes down. There's enough spearmen here that he might just take the battle, which is interesting. But I think these men-at-arms can win it, or at least cause ludicrous casualties. Zalami now picking up the deer carcasses. Here he goes. This is absolutely ridiculous that this is even possible, but he's going for it. Grabs, looks like gets away with 2 to 3 deer carcasses. Does he get the third one? Men-at-arms might actually take it down. And they do. So gets away with 2 deer carcasses. But keep in mind that that matters, right? That's 2 taken away from Hera. So using those scouts any way he can. I personally can't wait until maybe it takes a little bit of time to pick up a deer carcass, in which case you can kill them with your villagers, town center, military around your base, whatever you have. Look at the timer. We're at 11:30 now. Zalami has had these sacred sites for some time, and he did make it up to the next age and went up with the compound of the defender. So more and more players choosing to forsake the House of Learning, where they're able to get special techs, simply because the Honed Blades technology, which improves men-at-arms and knights, giving them +3 attack, takes forever now. It is bugged. It takes something like 17 minutes by default. Maybe it's even more than that without any scholars. So Compound of the Defender, more and more popular. You can make cheaper castles with it. And if you get the right technology, you can even produce villagers out of those castles. So I am curious to see if we see Zalami going onto stone to make better use of this landmark. Hera pushing Zalami off of the sacred site in the middle. I don't think there's too much Zalami will be able to do about all of these men-at-arms. Maybe if he goes elephants or something. Looks like he's going lancers plus his own men-at-arms, which might do the trick. Do we see anything? We see 2 relics from him. Do we see any relics from Hera? No relics, but keep in mind he does have the gold hall, and it's actually set to stone. That's really interesting. So Hera can pop this out. Remember that French get cheaper production near castles. So really, as soon as this thing hits 800, I guess, he can pop it out. Or maybe just wait until 1600, pop out the stone, and build 2 castles. So we will see what he does with that. Then again, some games, it just gets left for the entire game. Units moving forward from Zalami now, taking out the scouts of Hera very cleanly. We'll move forward and at least try to push Hera off the sacred site so we can get back to making that sweet, sweet gold income. And it looks like Hera must have sent a scout up here. So Zalami now with 0 sacred sites. So all of that advantage is gone. Looking at the villager counts, it's 43 for Zalami and 48 for Hera. And remember, that is purely based on the improved villager production time for the French. So Hera does not need to do anything exceptional here. The fact that he's pushed his opponents off the sacred sites is probably more than enough. And Zalami needs to be much, much more careful with his military here. I want to see these knights raiding. They don't want to get stuck against such a big group of men-at-arms who can actually be upgraded to trade effectively with knights. So we'll see how that goes. There's actually a relic here. Let's see if we see a Wololo out from Zalami. I think he might do it. Do it, do it, do it. It's too late. There it goes, but men-at-arms are already on him. He's a little too late. I would have liked to see that just behind. Maybe even do it here and pull your troops back a little bit. Just to make sure you continue to grab that sacred site. Zalami now getting the worst of both worlds. Loses the Scholar, Relic, and the sacred site. Outnumbered for men-at-arms as well, and has no special bonuses right now. Right? Remember, he went with the Compound of the Defender, so we will never see Honed Blades from the red player. He's expanded to the back with a mill. I don't see a second town center from him, but we'll keep an eye out for it. Hera, on the other hand, has put up a second town center. And keeping in mind, French do produce villagers faster. He is already up by 9 villagers, and that lead will continue to grow. Let's take a look at his guild hall. He must have pulled out... Oh, he must have just pulled out the stone for the town center. So, yeah, I like that. Just using the guild hall as that passive stone. Income, it's not... You know, the income's pretty low early on if you don't leave the resources in there for a while. But still, being able to get town centers pretty quickly is a big deal. Zalami, again, being a little bit wasteful with these units and even starting a Wololo here. Rather, Hera doing that. Really has full say in the center of the map. Going to take back the Sacred Site as well with single knight, so... I think the game initiative is in the hands of Hera, and Zalami needs to figure out what to do about it. Pretty sizable men-at-arms battle. Hera's going to pull back. There are crossbowmen on the back for Zalami. Crossbows did get a bonus in the recent patch, so +9 versus heavy instead of +6, which does add up pretty quickly. So the men-at-arms, plus the crossbows, and in fact, plus the elephant, should be pretty effective here. And we'll see if he sends a scholar forward, hopefully right away, to take back that Sacred Site. Scholars garrisoned in all of these production facilities. In fact, 2 barracks, 2 archery ranges, and he has 3 relics for himself. Does he have any more? I don't see another mosque for him. We'll take an eye... Oh, look at this. Forward wall coming down from Zalami. Walling Hera into his... I like this a lot. He can even place a tower here if he wants. But look, Hera has to run all the way around now. And this will keep the Sacred Site so much safer. That being said, okay, here it comes. Here come the Scholars with their speed upgrades. So you see them jogging now instead of simply walking at a normal pace. And you'll try to take back both of these. And another wall coming up the top. Look at that on the mini-map. With all the men-at-arms. Very, very cool play from Zalami. Yeah, Hera needs to be very careful here. Mangonel will be pretty effective against the crossbows. And, okay, that's just a lumber camp. I thought for a minute we saw some sort of siege being built in the field. Zalami ranging southward, going to take this one as well. So, really, really good play by him. An excellent use of Compound of the Defender. Now, if Hera does hit the Imperial Age, his resources are nowhere near that right now. So, not really a strong possibility. But cannons will, of course, take this down really quickly. And he can make a single ram if he gets the siege engineering technology. And push down that wall actually fairly easily. But in the meantime, tons of time bought for Zalami. And he'll want to be aggressive here. He's going to want to shoot as many of these men-at-arms as he can. Sacred Site in the center being taken. One in the top almost being taken. And look at that, 66 gold right away. The resources are, I was about to say healthy. They're too high. Zalami needs to spend these resources if he wants to stay in this game. Because Hera behind this is not idle. Actually, even healing up his troops with monks. Really well played. All Sacred Sites taken now for Zalami. 2 relics in the monastery for Hera. This wall did finish. Oh, look at this. Stonewall Tower built right by the berries, driving Hera off of it. Do we see any towers here? One starting to be built now, and we see a further wall being constructed. Looks like Hera is going to jump on that, though. And the Mangonels will probably finish anyone building it. So, just enough. Oh, didn't quite finish the wall there. So these troops do get pushed back. And he needs to make sure these crossbows don't get jumped on. Remember, the crossbows can get jumped on. They're really force multipliers against armored units. These units have their charge on now, so they do increase in speed. There are multiple elephants out here. So Zalami needs a controlled retreat to pick away at Hera's units and just whittle them down to the point where Hera doesn't feel safe out here anymore. And that is going to be Zalami's happy place, because with all of this wall up, if Hera does have to retreat, he has to retreat the long way. And then, of course, once he comes back out, he has to run the long way as well. really nice surround here. You see that forced march coming in to jump on the siege. Zalami, nice play from him. Elephants probably getting quite a bit of damage coming. I wish I could count their kills. Trying to get out alive with the elephants, which I like a lot. These things are very, very expensive, and maybe even producing more right into the battle. We see a Tower War Elephant there. Mangonels coming out, but I really don't like them being directed out into the battle. It looks like Zalami has a solid handle over this battle. Most of the elephants surviving. Tons of crossbows left. So excellent, excellent position from Zalami. And taking out the Springle very, very easily. Needs to heal this elephant, though. These guys are worth 1,000 resources each. You want to do what you can to keep them alive. Hera is going to retreat and get whatever value he can. So you might as well neutralize his sacred site on your way out. Elephants will drive him away here. And, you know, they're not bad at killing knights. I mean, look at these guys go down. This is a mistake, though, I think. This elephant does go down. He really just needed to heal it. Loses it to a couple of knights, so not the best play. But he is using this period to stay aggressive, right? So, oh, he didn't neutralize this site. He just drove him off in time. So actually, excellent, excellent play. You know, this thing will make back the resources so quickly. It's probably worth losing that elephant and staying on the offensive. Needs to keep these archers alive and is doing so pretty successfully. I thought I saw some go down there, but I don't see what would have shot them other than his own Mangonel. Of course, there being no friendly fire. Towers being built right up front and probably a Stonewall Tower following it up, which is the case whenever you see those triple ball segment. I absolutely adore this play from Zalami, but let's take a look at the populations. 119 for him, 106 for Hera. So Hera is 14 villagers ahead, but quite a bit behind in terms of military. And keep in mind that some of the military Zalami has as well are elephants, plus some siege. So doing very, very well for himself. Wouldn't be surprised to see these elephants move forward. Just take out the outposts, start destroying buildings. The Stonewall Towers will not be particularly effective at doing so. You see how little damage this thing takes. In fact, I think it's going down by, what, 10? 10 per shot. Not great at all. Hera has put up a keep here. Let's check his guild hall. Oh man, he switched it to gold, and there's 3,000 gold sitting in there right now. And you see every 20 seconds, this thing is generating 200 resources. I'll try to leave this selected so you can see it go. But Hera's castle here, I guess this is a good position. I mean, it really prevents, you know, a gate being built from Zalami and just running through. So not a bad position from Hera, at least solidifying that area. And we'll see, did this wall get finished? I think it did. Wall chunk finished from Zalami. More wall going down from him. So fully walling Hera in his own map. In his own side of the map, rather. Adding double stone tower over here. Drive his opponent off gold. Hera is in a tough spot. This is so tricky. He's ahead in villagers. But his map position is terrible. I'd love to see Zalami get out on some of these big gold patches and just mine the crap out of them before Hera can bust out and get to them. Because you better believe Hera wants to get out of here. Still nowhere near age 4, sorry, the Imperial Age. But definitely starting to take out the... I didn't realize you could use torches on a Stonewall Tower, actually. I guess it's just a wall you can't do that on. But Trebuchet out from him, and... You know what, I guess this castle might also prevent repairs. So, it would have been nice to see... I mean, maybe if Zalami could get another gate or a tower up, he could actually get troops up on here. And he could repair wall while taking 1/3 range damage, which would be quite powerful. Elephants getting forward, taking out a tower, so... Zalami getting back on the aggressive. Now, I do worry about this army. We'll see what Hera has in store for him. And I'll tell you, lots of pikemen. Veteran spearmen. These elephants need to be very, very careful. They're not in a... This Mangonel needs to be particularly effective. We'll see if he builds any more. These crossbows will be decent against the Spearman. Taking out the School of Cavalry. Yeah, this is tricky. If Zalami slips up here, I think his position is reduced quite a bit. The quality of his position goes down. But taking out the School of Cavalry from Hera, really nice play by him, and I think he needs to pull back pretty hard here. This is a good positioning of troops, though. Men-at-Arms against the Spearmen. Elephants pull back. Siege don't want to be there, unless he's trying to pick off. Looks like he was going for this Mangonel. Hera pulls it back intelligently. Needs to keep retreating with these elephants, because they will go down to spears so quickly before you realize it. His Mangonel is still active, though, and is getting lots and lots of damage in, so still kind of unclear to me how this battle is going. But spears starting to get in on the elephants. Forced march being used by Zalami to get his men-at-arms in. Oh, look at this. Relics coming forward for Wololos. Zalami wins the battle and doesn't lose a single elephant. Incredible play from him. I love this aggressive play. Behind in villagers, but just locks his opponent in his own base. Wololos coming out, driving his opponent away from here. I don't know that that's the best use of the Wololo. Basically giving a relic to his opponent if he's able to take him up on that. Another Wololo going down. Going to be grabbing a bunch of villagers. Look at that. All these villagers become Heras. And just like that, it's 87 economy for Zalami and 82 for Hera. So Zalami has taken lead on the economic front. Although that being said, these villagers may die on their way out. Elephant's starting to go down now. I'm about to say Zalami needs to be careful, but he doesn't because Hera calls it. Zalami winning against Hera as Delhi against the French. So excellent, excellent play. Really clever by Zalami. I'm going to keep a closer eye out on his games. If you'd like to see those and see daily video uploads, please like and subscribe. This is Paragon RG, and I will catch you next time.